Joining me now from London is Talk TV presenter Samara Gill, our new regular this year in the Bolt Report. Samara, great to see you. How much outrage has Trump's insult caused in Britain and how much damage?
Look, a lot of damage, a lot of outrage. The real anger has basically been with the veterans, the military families, and the wider public, not so much the political class as per usual. I mean, of course, we had Keir Starmer come out and actually say some pretty strong words for once and have some conviction. So I'm glad that Trump's brought that out in him. But we've, of course, also had the king getting involved. And of course, he's sort of the head of all the military within the United Kingdom. So it's quite rare for him to get involved with this. But I think there was a lot of hurt from veterans. You know, there's a lot of a lot of love for Trump over in the United Kingdom. And it kind of did feel like a bit of a slap in the face. But to get an apology from the man is also sort of equally as rare. I mean, if we actually just want to look at optics, Trump has done more for NATO than most leaders in the Western Alliance. I mean, he's brought many people up to their actual spending budgets. Before he joined and before he was president, most of them weren't spending that 2.5%, which is actually expected of nations. So he's been bringing up spending, and it was more about the sharing of the burden, in my opinion, than a direct attack on British troops. But I think the tone was all wrong. And unfortunately, Trump, I mean, he rarely misses, but I think with this one, he really did. So the apology is very welcome and has been well received over here.
I'd call it more a backtrack because I didn't see the word sorry in there. And I think the king got involved because that would have made it look really bad for him to go and, you know, hugger-mugger with Trump over there when this insult is just left on the table. Interesting times. America's going to need allies one day. Trump may not realise it, but it will. And this kind of stuff is stupid. Samara, you moved from Australia to London, like, you know, generations of young Australians before you, you know, Jermaine Greer and all that. It's just been a rite of passage. But the UK Telegraph has now published a piece from a young Australian who's also moved to London, but has now quit London for Paris, saying he was sick of London's huge cost of living, massive rents, all the crime. He was even mugged himself in the tube. And he says he's not alone. In fact, interesting figure, since 2005, there's been a 60% drop in visas for Australians wanting to live, work or study in Britain. That includes my daughter quitting there. Has London stopped being the mecca for a certain kind of young Australian? And if so, why?
I mean, don't we wish we could all be like Mr. Rangasinghe or whatever his name is and just sort of flee London for Paris? Oh, what a life of Riley that would be. I mean, I think his article really, when I read it, I was almost about to throw up by how sort of gratuitous it was. I mean, it's sort of like the life of privilege you do lead. It's a privileged position to come over to London. A lot of people scrimp and save to get over here. It's a dream for a lot of Australians. But I think as well, it's about a change in mentality. These numbers come post-COVID. A lot of young people just hopped on benefits and enjoyed the very cozy, comfy life that Australia had to offer them. And if you're going to come over to London, you need to be prepared to suffer some grit, suffer some very high rent prices, high cost of living, some really tough jobs. But it's all about character development. And that's something I fear that our young generation just doesn't want to face. They don't want to face the realities of what it is to live in a very competitive environment. Not everything's going to be cushy. London is, you know, up there with New York as one of the world-class cities. People are here. You're competing against the rest of the world, and it's not easy. So I say, you know, pull your socks up, young generation. If you want to get over here, then do it. But if you don't want to do the hard slogs, then forget about it.
Well, you know, I find it odd that a guy complaining about lots of crime then goes to Paris instead, where, you know, pockets picked. A friend of mine had his pocket picked last time he went there. But there you go. You know, no telling some people's decision making. But he got him column inches in the Telegraph, and that's always good. Samara Gill, thank you so much for your time.